are you? It's your summer 2023 interview.
Yes.
On the
yes,
day.
Indeed.
So normally this is done on the day before you go back to school.
However, this is quite different.
Yeah.
Quite a different situation.
Yeah.
These are my sunglasses now.
You've stolen my sunglasses. How could you?
Oh, you want them?
Yeah.
You gotta get up and get them if you want your sunglasses back.
Can you believe this? Can you believe this?
So you're not going back to school
No, I'm free.
because in fact you have been at school all summer.
Yes.
What's the name of your school?
Wolsey Hall.
It's an online school, isn't
An
it?
online school. I've been homeschooling I've been homeschooling full time since the beginning of July. But I've been homeschooling part time much longer than that. And it has been, needless to say, a very, very eventful past 8 months. So we have quite a lot to talk about.
We have got a lot to talk about.
A lot. Might be here for a while.
They might need to split it into 2 parts.
No.
Or more.
Right, so
So let's begin with holidays. So we didn't do a Christmas interview.
which was an oversight.
Yeah. So all of the stuff, we need to kind of go over the stuff that's also
Yes, briefly.
autumn. Yeah. So our October holiday. What do you remember about our October holiday?
Surprisingly quite a lot. So we went to 3 different places. So the first place we went to was North. What was the name of the place? It was
Lochte.
Lochte. Someone's back. Glasses thief. But yes, we went to Lochte and we stayed in this bungalow, which was very, very cold when we came in, and it had a lovely view, and it also had a hot tub we didn't use. And I also remember, this was the holiday that I first started watching Merlin, which I didn't actually finish because it's very long and I don't know, but that's when I started it. And I also remember when we were there we watched Strictly, and they're over here. Connor, can you pass me that ball? We were watching Strictly and Connor assigned categories to each of these colours. Water, pasta, air horn, death.
Quick intermission before you move on. It's time for another game show question.
Do you want to come into view?
Yeah. I have another question for you. What is this character?
I genuinely forgot.
That's look colder.
Fruit shoot.
Colder.
Yeah, I didn't think that was it.
A bit warmer.
I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm gonna call him Bernard.
Oh, looks like you've got the question wrong. His name
Aw.
was Food Fight.
Food fight. Oh well.
Better luck next time.
Oh, I don't win any money. Anyway, back to October holidays. So
what do you remember of the Lochte experience?
Lochte experience. I remember one of the days we went on like a drive, and on the drive we went to multiple different places. One of them was really cool because it had you know, all the autumn trees, and they're all orange and yellow. It was really cool.
Glen Lyon it was.
Glen Lyon. And went on walks through the forest, and we went to a pebble beach, and I got like a piece of deer antler on the beach, which was cool. I still have it upstairs.
And then where did we go?
I've also forgot what it's called.
Saltburn.
Saltburn. Yeah, just as a note, I forget all the place names, all of them. So yeah, we went to Saltburn, and it was, again...
Saltburn-on-Sea, to be precise.
Yes, a very cool place, and I remember we watched Moonlight there, and I also remember there were loads of books, and there were very cool books. There was one called What Would Boudica Do? Boudica. I don't know how to pronounce it, I just read it. And that was good. And we went to a seafood restaurant, and I don't remember what I got, but I got something new and I liked it. I'm pretty sure it was prawns, maybe? I don't know. But that was nice. And yeah, that's about it. Although, I remember on the way to the next place, we went to the cinema, which we'll talk about later, but we went to see The Lost King, which was good. I enjoyed that. And, oh yeah, this was when Liz Truss was...
She resigned, didn't she?
Yeah, she resigned. And the lettuce outlived her.
And the lettuce. And
Can't forget the lettuce.
And of course, that was just a few weeks after the Queen died.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There was actually a photograph of Liz Truss being
Come on, I don't do that.
being sworn in. Not sworn in. No. And she gets to meet the Queen at Balmoral, Queen Elizabeth at Balmoral. There was two Liz's. Temporarily. For about a week or so, there were two Liz's.
A week.
In the Prime Minister and Monarch positions.
Right, so next place we went to was Whitby, and we stayed
Your
in
favourite.
Yes, and
Connor's
Connor's.
favourite as well.
I don't understand. What does this mean?
What are you even doing? Why are you just looking at some random position?
What do you like about Whitby, Connor?
Connor isn't here.
Oh, I suppose
What do you
even
like
here.
about
He's
Whitby or-
still upstairs.
Right, so what I like about Whitby is it is very spooky. It has a wonderful atmosphere, and it has lots of very nice shops.
And what in particular did we experience this
Yes,
time
so-
in Whitby?
Okay, after having steak on one day, which was a celebratory dinner to celebrate Liz Truss resigning, the next day we went to the Dracula experience at Whitby Abbey. And it was because it was the 125th anniversary of Dracula being written in Whitby by Bram Stoker, and it was
And what was the Dracula experience? What did it describe it?
so it was like loads of actors, and they were acting as the characters in the novel. As though Dracula had come back after all of these years, and we were following them around the abbey, and it was really cool. And also before it started, the actors were like wandering around talking to people like, "Go back, turn back while you still can,
Save yourself.
save yourselves." And then I also got a giant marshmallow on a stick that I roasted
Yes.
over a fire, and I got hot chocolate, and it was amazing.
Yeah, incredible light shows on
Yes.
the walls of the Abbey as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. Can't can't believe we're lucky enough to
Yeah.
do that.
Oh yeah, something else. Not about the holiday, because that's the holiday done, but around Halloween. Oh yeah, quickly, forgot to mention, in between Loch Tay and Saltburn, we spent a night here at home. Just thought I might mention that.
Makes sense.
Around Halloween, I went by myself to go see the school show, which I did not audition for, and I will forever beat myself up over not auditioning for. And I didn't audition for it because I thought, oh, I already have so much on my plate, I'd just be really stressed, I don't want to cause myself undue stress. But I could have handled it, and I would have had so much fun, and it would have been such an experience, and I don't regret anything more ever than not auditioning. But I
What?
went,
You didn't join the show?
no, I didn't, and I regret it.
One of the many things that
Well, lesson learned.
yeah, that changed your school experience.
Yeah, but I went to go see it, and Hannah was playing Wednesday, and she was amazing. So yeah, the whole thing was very, very good. And I very much enjoyed it.
And so you've also been anything else? So the musical theatre so before Christmas there was another show, wasn't there? The pantomime.
Yes, around Christmas in musical theatre, we had a panto. And we were doing Peter Pan, and I was playing Captain Hook, and it was the most fun doing a show, play, thing, whatever, that I think I've ever had. And it was so fun, and I got to do my dramatic villain monologues, and I got to have everyone boo me, and it was so amazing and fulfilling and satisfying. So we were doing Peter Pan, and I was playing Captain Hook, and why, thank you, Connor.
Actually auditioned this time.
Yes, I actually auditioned this time, and oh my god, I was roaming about the stage doing my dramatic villain monologue, and everyone was booing me, and it was so satisfying. Seriously, I loved it. I make such a good villain. And I think one of my favourite parts was during the break, like the intermission, there was a snack room that all the little kids at the front came in to get snacks, and I was in there because I'd gone off stage there, and I stayed in character the whole time, and I was like that to them.
Scaring all the young kids.
Yeah, and they were booing me, and it was, oh my god. Oh my god.
There was also something that you did with RCS
Yes.
before Christmas as well.
We were focusing on doing games, and we thought a murder mystery would be very fun. So what we did, we made a life-sized version of Cluedo. And what I was the host, so I also got to do dramatic monologues. They're very fun. And I think I might have typecast myself, but oh well. I'm not complaining. It would wow.
What was the name of your character again, Connor?
The person who lies down on the floor and tries to interrupt the show.
My character, Connor.
No, Paula's character in the
one-
Cluedo.
The one that you made a me out of.
Oh. Balderdash!
Yes! Cornelius Balderdash.
What a great name.
Cornelius
What a
Sir
great name.
Balderdash.
I came up with it myself.
Sir Cornelius Balderdash.
Sir Cornelius Balderdash. Yes, thank you, Connor.
And so, Christmas.
Yes, Christmas was very Christmassy.
We didn't do a Christmas interview.
Sadly.
Can you remember much about Christmas? Can you remember much about Christmas, Connor?
Okay, here's
We
the
had.
Christmas interview. I struggled to think of what I wanted for Christmas.
That's right. Can
And,
you remember what you got for Christmas?
I
did you
got a Stranger Things t-shirt, and I also got a massive thing of books.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
I
thought
got
that was
a
21.
scarf that Mum made, and it was the Doctor's scarf. It was, yeah, it was cool, and I still have it. It's very nice.
And we had Grandma and Granddad and Gran and Papa for Christmas dinner, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Actually, we had turkey for Christmas dinner, but they
Yeah.
were presents.
We should probably clarify that.
And so
What? Dad.
just terrible joke.
Dad.
So
Focus!
what have you been doing piano wise?
Right, piano wise. So, I have been practicing for, I don't even remember how long, a very long time, Moonlight Sonata with Ellie, who is my piano tutor, in preparation for playing Moonlight Sonata at the showcase, which at current time is next week. 1 week today. And
So-
oh yeah, just to clarify, today is Saturday, the 19th of August, 2023. Just to Yeah.
I hope I can video that. I'm really looking forward to seeing your performance because
I'm very looking forward
you
to
have
performing.
performed the piece in public twice before, haven't you?
Yes, I performed it in Battersea Power Station in London, and people clapped. And it was cool. And I also performed it in Glasgow Queen Street Station, and a guy came up and gave me £10, which was like, okay, wow, thank you.
Oh, is there a new year? Well, it's time for a new pointless game show section. Oh.
You're not in the frame. You're not in the frame. Come on, come closer.
No. Let me tell you. This is going to be the same as the previous question, but probably easier. What is this character's name?
This one I know. Armless gear shift.
You actually got it right.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a second question.
Second question.
What month was Revenge of the Bees made?
Oh, what month? Oh. June?
I guess I'll go check.
Go and check. Okay. Oh yeah. Revenge of the Bees.
What was the Revenge of the Bees?
Revenge of the Bees.
Here's a very simple. Here's how I got the inspiration for the name. Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith.
Lovely.
And
So,
there are bees in the film, so
yes. There are bees in the film. So yeah, me and Connor made a short film called Revenge of the Bees on a, like, I don't even know what it's called, an app on his iPad. What was it called?
why are they taking revenge? Who knows?
Who knows?
Who
We can leave a
cares?
link down below.
Oh yes,
It's on
and
Connor's channel,
to the
isn't it?
classic sequel Revenge of the Bees 2.
Which had way less bees and which was kind of disappointing.
But it had some
Okay.
very, very good sound effects that you added that time. And music.
I don't know if it's funnier with them or funnier without any editing.
So, should we talk about the Easter holiday now?
Easter holiday. Right.
Chronologically. When did we
Should I mention the things that happened around January, February?
Yeah. So what else have we got then?
Yes, alright. So, January, February, is around the time that I got very interested in Sherlock Holmes. I actually got The Hound of the Baskervilles for Christmas, and while I haven't finished it, I was very interested in it, and I still am. I had watched most of BBC Sherlock before that, but around this time I actually got really interested in the whole thing, all of it, and I watched any and all adaptations I could get my hands on. I still haven't finished BBC Sherlock, but I watched loads of films and any other series, and I still maintain to this day that my favourite adaptation of Sherlock Holmes is The Great Mouse Detective. It's the best one.
Here's the answer to the question. The original video for Revenge of the Bees, or Hail the Bees, was made at the very end of April.
What? Oh wow, okay. Really overshot that then.
It was when I published Revenge of the Bees 2 on my YouTube channel in June.
Good to know. Oh yes, and I think around this time we should probably mention the homeschooling business.
Oh hey, here's some trivia.
That didn't begin in.
I published Revenge of the Bees 2 on my channel. I used some like schedule things, so it was kind of May.
It came out.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to leave a link down below
Yes, we shall.
so we can refer to it. Okay, we can talk about homeschooling if you like.
Okay, so if just going everything in chronological order. So I don't recall exactly.
Hopefully YouTube will automatically generate some chapter titles for
Okay,
this video.
YouTube, please.
Homeschooling.
Homeschooling. Got that, YouTube? Okay, so homeschooling. It was around January, February that Connor started being homeschooled part-time. Now, how exactly does that work again?
Monday and Tuesday afternoons.
Monday and Tuesday afternoons that he was off school being homeschooled. And I was utterly miserable at school for a multitude of reasons, most of which are catalogued on a note on my phone, which I think it'll take quite a while to get into right now, so we might be able to do a separate interview specifically about that, or we might already have.
Yeah, I think we did do one.
Yeah, I think we did do one,
interview.
right. So yeah, school sucked, and I was miserable.
Maybe we should do a separate homeschooling interview, a third homeschooling interview.
I think we should actually, but okay, we'll just talk about it briefly here anyway.
Just briefly.
So I was miserable, and I heard Connor was being homeschooled, and I eventually caved and just asked, pleaded, begged if I could be homeschooled in any manner whatsoever, and you and Mum said yes. So it was around this time I started being homeschooled on Wednesday afternoons only. And I remember the first couple of times Mum took me to Kelvin Grove to see the art exhibition thing, and there was there were other times as well that I've forgotten, but those things sure did happen. And I remember like during school as well, but I might forget, I don't know if I mentioned, there was a rights club at lunchtime on Wednesdays, so Wednesdays was the best day because at lunchtime I had a club with my friends talking about rights, and then I got to go home. But I was still, I think it was before Easter, things started to get even worse in regards to school. So my attendance dropped because school sucked, and I'd get.
What do you mean your attendance dropped?
No, I mean like
you.
I started I don't remember it very clearly right now, but I started asking if I could be off on Tuesdays and Thursdays as well, because my lessons on those days specifically were terrible. And being off, I think it was partly inspired by the school strikes which were happening, and then I got to have a day off because teachers were striking, and so I realised how much more productive I could be if I wasn't in a school environment. And it was also around this time that we started looking at Wolsey Hall, I think.
Yeah.
And
that is what inspired allowing you to have more time off.
yeah, so
Because we realised that to fit your GCSEs in, to basically stop doing your Nut 5s and do your GCSEs instead,
I needed
you'd
to
start
be,
from scratch.
yeah,
With only 14 months. To fit 2 years of studying to 14 months.
which I'm doing well with, by the way. So there was that. Now, can we move on to the Easter holidays, because those happened.
Where did we go for art?
Where did we go for our Easter holidays?
We went to Low Row
Low Row,
in Swaledale,
Swaledale,
in the Yorkshire Dales.
in the Yorkshire Dales. Low Row in Swaledale in the Yorkshire Dales. Right. And we were in this cottage with a lovely view of the hills and lots of sheep, and it was very, very, very nice. And there was a hen. There was a hen that came up and kept pecking at my shoelaces.
Very, very tame hen, wasn't it? Wanted to come
Yes.
inside, but
Wanted to come inside. We named her Diana Ross.
obviously.
Definitely an original name.
Why did we call it that?
Because that's what was playing.
Good a name as any.
Yeah. Quite a good name, I think. So we spent Easter there. Grandma and Grandad came round, and we had a hunt for the small chocolate bunnies in the front garden, and
Well, what was the last one could have been?
I don't know.
And we went for a really long
We
walk.
went for an incredibly long walk, and that was a very, very, very good walk.
At the
Very
end,
good walk.
My
Beautiful one.
legs were dead.
Yeah, at the end, Connor's legs were dead, my legs were dead, and I was walking in boots that were too small for me.
Oh. Yes. And I had to sprint for the one bus back to the
Yeah,
Row.
you had to go ahead and sprint for the last bus to Low Row, so then you could get the car and bring it back up, and we could all go later, because me and Connor were dead weight. Though, while we were waiting for you to get the car back, we got ice cream. And it was wonderful. I think actually that's become a running theme, as after every incredibly long walk, we get ice cream.
We deserved it. That
Yeah, I
walk.
deserved it.
And then, should we talk about Belgium and Duke of Edinburgh?
Ah,
Two
yes.
things that seem
So,
to be associated.
well, actually, before we go about that, I think we should talk about musical theatre before that. Because in the month of May was an incredibly busy month for me. So in the first part of May, I had the dance displays for musical theatre. Now, I must repeat this. So musical theatre is part of a dance academy, which means that the dance displays, which include musical theatre, are just dance, really. And the only class that I go to in the dance academy is musical theatre, even though most people go to multiple things. Meaning, I had to arrive there an hour in advance, and then I had to sit there for that hour and the 2 hours that the show lasted for, and was only on stage for 2 minutes. However, I had to do this 3 times. I had to do this 3 times. It was last year that was 4 times. And it was very, very, very fun, because in the changing rooms, I got to speak to other people and other classes, and I got to speak and be with, like, everyone in my own musical theatre class, and I just basically hung out with the other people who only do musical theatre for the whole time. And They had alright, so it's in a different venue than it was last year because the last year's venue actually got demolished, sadly, the one in Falkirk. And the one we were in this time, I don't remember where that was. I'll find out eventually. We had, in this place, screens and speakers in the changing rooms so we could see and hear what was going on stage in the changing rooms. So that was very entertaining.
And so Belgium. Tell me about the Belgium trip.
I just realised I think we've missed out on something incredibly, vitally important that happened in April.
Go for it. What was it?
Being told that we're moving house.
I've got that on the list, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we cancelled that. We thought our current house was way too good.
Yeah, but that was only very
and our next door
recently.
neighbours are the best.
Yes, we do have the best next door neighbours.
So what was your experience of that? Why were we saying that we were going to move?
Okay, so Mum got a new job, which would require her to be in Blackburn a lot of the time. And we thought that you thought that we should move house to Skipton, which is a town in Yorkshire, so we could be nearer there. And I, to be completely honest, did not take it very well. It took a lot of getting used to, and there were a lot of emotions, most of which I wrote down, but yeah, it was a very emotional time for me, both being told and having to actually reconcile that fact in my brain because it didn't actually register for a while, and then I had to tell my friends, and then I had to tell everyone. And keep in mind, all the busy stuff that happened in May was coloured with the fact that this is the last time I'll ever be able to do this stuff. I really need to enjoy this because these are all my friends here. I won't see them for a very long time, and I won't be with them in the same experience. So yeah, the dance displays were actually kind of emotional as well for me. I mean, of course it turns out that we're not moving because the housing market is on fire, as is most things around this time actually, but oh well. But yeah, it was a time, those months, thinking that we're going to move house.
Yeah, we were looking at schools for you. This is partly because of the whole leaving St. Maurice's.
St. Maurice's thing. And homeschooling was never meant to be a permanent solution. It was supposed to be just getting me out of St. Maurice's. So we were intending for, in what would be 5th and 6th year, for me to go to a 6th form in school in Skipton.
Yeah. And that was kind of the primary driver because we thought Connor can't go to St. Maurice's if if it's as bad as your experience.
Though actually now we sort of know that maybe it wouldn't be as bad as my experience. Quite a lot of things that contributed to my poor experience is because of the fact that I'm a girl. So it would be different for him. And just, well, I don't know.
But it's also St. Aloysius.
Yeah, that as well.
But we did go to look at houses, didn't we?
Yes, we did go to look at houses.
At Skipton and Ilkley.
We stayed in a hotel in Skipton for a night, and it was a really weird, creepy hotel. And it inspired me. But we looked around Skipton. There was a really cool farm shop with a nice cafe as well, which was really, really cool. We stayed in the hotel. We looked at the house, which we didn't really like. So yeah, that was that experience at Skipton.
But ultimately, the housing market. It's
Thanks, Liz Truss.
thanks Vladimir Putin.
No.
Yeah, inflation has been a real problem for
Someone
the
doing
last
some gardening.
over a year now since Russia invaded Ukraine, and that meant interest rates had to go up, and so people couldn't afford so much to borrow so much to buy houses, but people trying to sell houses were assuming that the same increases that had happened during the lockdown when everything was feeling crazy. Everyone wanted bigger houses to work from home in, and so prices were all seriously inflated, like by about 25%, and it would be a very big mistake to buy under those conditions, and we couldn't even rent because there were so few properties available that were in huge demand. And then there was also the fact that the entrance exam for Ermisteds, which Connor would have to sit, we only had a few weeks to prepare for, but we'd have to get a rental accommodation first. So everything was far too.
Proof of address.
Yeah, I think it was all.
Yeah, it was all just a big flaming pile of mess. A pile of mess. Yes.
So,
but that was all.
Yeah. What's weird though is watching this interview back in the years to come, and you're hearing about this. Remember the experience of thinking that you're going to move.
Yeah.
And remembering the experience that you were thinking you're going to move, and but it will seem like a distant memory.
Yeah, which feels incredibly strange considering that was reality for so long.
Because, I mean, basically the move has been put off indefinitely.
Yeah, I mean,
who knows? We certainly will be here until you at least go to university.
Yeah.
At very, very least.
Very, very least. I mean, at least, like, even during those months, it was incredibly easy to forget that, oh, my time here is very, very limited. So now that, we know that we're going to be here permanently, it's even more easy to forget that that alternate reality where we could have moved. So, yeah. But, okay, let's talk about Belgium.
Yeah.
See that YouTube? Belgium. Belgium.
Okay, so you had a school trip to Belgium.
Yes, we had a school trip to Belgium.
This is, sorry, just put it into context of homeschooling. You were already homeschooling at this point.
Well, I was homeschooling Tuesdays, Wednesday afternoons and Thursdays.
Yeah, up until the point you went to Belgium.
Yeah, basically the only reason I was still in school at all was so I could do both Belgium and Duke of Edinburgh.
Yeah.
So we went on a school trip to Belgium, and I went with Hannah and other people who were there as well, which included Eva, who played Pugsley in the school show, and two other people who I really met on that trip, Ailey and Connor, and turns out Ailey is actually one of my cousins, which... Okay.
She just lives in Grandpapa Street.
Oh, does she not? Oh, right, she's not one of my cousins. Okay, she just lives near Grandpapa, never mind.
Maybe a very distant cousin.
Maybe. No, okay.
No.
I mean, in a way, every single person is an incredibly, incredibly distant cousin.
Yeah. Connor's not a distant cousin then.
No.
And so, what did you go to see in Belgium?
What happened? So, we went on in total, 16-hour journey. So it was...
I remember dropping you off at like 8 p.m.
Yeah, with our Belgium jumpers.
Yeah.
our hoodies,
Yeah.
and it
We
was
had a long day sleeping in the
12-hour bus journey plus a 2-hour ferry. And oh my god, that was an experience. We stopped a couple of times. I remember getting hot chocolate and I had to wear an eye mask and earplugs because we were on a bus. And it was, I did not get very much sleep at all. It was very uncomfortable and I had to have a neck pillow as well, which also was not comfortable. But I lived. I mean, yeah, we arrived in Dover in the very early morning, went on the 2-hour ferry journey and then continued the 12-hour bus journey in France and then into Belgium, and then we arrived at the Euro Space Agency. So yeah, that's when we were staying and doing experiences, and I was staying in a dorm room with Hannah and a bunch of other girls who were all really, really nice, and one of them, Erin, is in my musical theatre as well, so I knew her already.
I didn't catch that. Could you try again?
Hush, Siri, hush. So yeah, the experiences were all very fun. We got to go moonwalking, and we made rockets, and we made a car which we raced, and me and Hannah, our car won, which was a very proud moment. We had a quiz. Oh yeah, also on the way there we stopped at a Belgian chocolate factory and I won a quiz that I didn't even realise was a quiz. I didn't realise it was a competition, but I won chocolate for it, which was, wow, okay, cool. And
one of your favourite subjects.
yeah. And also there was another quiz on the first day there, and on the last day when the quiz, when it got revealed who won, my team won. Wow.
In what?
Guess I'm taking after Mum.
Quizzes.
Winning quizzes.
And the Duke of Edinburgh.
Duke of Edinburgh experience
Edinburgh
at the beginning.
experience. How was that?
This was not May. This was the beginning of June. It was torture. I did my Duke of Edinburgh bronze, and alright. First of all, I didn't have any friends going on the expedition with me. Right. So what I'd been doing, for the rest of Duke of Edinburgh, everything else you have to do, there had been piano, and there had been the exercise part, which was just me recording all the walks I'd been on. And then there was the volunteering part where I volunteered at Holy Cross, basically as an assistant in the primary 1 classroom, in the P1H classroom, the same classroom that I was in primary 1, and every week, every Friday after school, which was very nice. I definitely very much enjoyed working with the 5-year-olds. But for the expedition itself, I didn't have any friends going on it with me. Megan, so Hannah couldn't do it because she had an injured leg, so she knew at the beginning she wouldn't be able to do it. Megan was supposed to do it, but turns out she had a dance thing going on too close to the date of the expedition, so she had to postpone that. So I was there in a team with people that I'm friendly with, but are not my friends. And I think that that definitely didn't help the experience. So the walk itself, we had to carry bags about this tall, went from above your head to below your waist, and weighed about the same as a baby elephant, in the sun, in the heat, walking for about, I don't remember how long, but the whole day. And wasn't very nice. I had walking poles. If I didn't have walking poles, I think I would have died. Yeah, at least this time I had boots that fit me. Anyway, I also don't remember how many kilometres in total, but I think it was around 23 in total over the 2 days that we did it. We camped overnight.
What was camping like?
Not nice. Pretty sure the only reason I got any, there were midges everywhere. Midges, so many midges. So I just hid in the tent the whole time. I actually, on Blip, I wrote down my experience and I described it much more in detail there. but I was so hungry. I evolved from hangry into hungry depressed. It's just, no, I wolfed down that pasta, and the only reason I got any sleep at all was because the girl who was supposed to be sharing a tent with me actually backed out, and this time she got picked up by her mum, so I got the whole tent to myself. So I managed to get to sleep, though it was a very, very uncomfortable sleep. And went on an even more enduring walk. But I can tell you that our group was the first. I mean, it wasn't a competition, but we were the first to make it.
And tell me about your experience of the finishing point.
So the finishing point was a co-op, and seeing that co-op was the most glorious, most fulfilling, most victorious moment of my entire life. I cannot express the sheer joy and relief I saw upon seeing a co-op. Seriously. I just was about to melt into the ground and scream in pure ecstasy at seeing that co-op. So yeah, we shed ourselves of our bags and went to get ice creams. And then Mum, Gran and Auntie Katie came to pick me up, and we got curry at this cool place, chicken curry, and it was really nice. And there was a really nice shop next to it with a really nice American woman there, and she was speaking to me, and I told her about my Duke of Edinburgh, and she was really cool, and the shop was really cool. It was like mermaid themed, and I got a wool octopus who I named Bernard. He's in my room.
So I think, do you have anything else about Duke of Edinburgh? Or should we take a break at this point?
I think we should take a break.
Okay. We'll leave it there, come back in part 2 later on. Okay, it's part 2
Yes.
of your interview. It's Sunday now, actually.
It's the day later. It's Sunday, the 20th of August. It is 5 o'clock.
And the low hum in the background is the oven on with a roast chicken in it.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. The second half of the interview is going to focus less on what happened, more on what your interests are.
The fun part.
Yeah. And I think a big part of this year, I think, has been your writing.
Yes, for quite a very big part. It's because I've had like loads more time to actually write stuff because of being homeschooled. I just have more time and I've been able to write loads now, which is cool. And I've been improving a lot as well.
But it kind of started with a writing piece that you did. I think you actually, I don't think you got it marked until the beginning of this last academic year. The spy story.
It wasn't marked.
It wasn't marked, but it was.
We just did it, and then it was read, and then we got, like I said, that is good.
We wouldn't have mentioned it in the interview, though.
We didn't get any feedback.
You didn't get any feedback?
I got no feedback. I mean, no constructive feedback. It was just like, oh, this is really, really good.
Didn't someone say that it was a good piece for...
Oh, that was Mrs. McClellan, yeah. She did praise it, and I did very much appreciate that praise because it motivated me to write more, but there was no constructive criticism.
Oh, I see. Right.
Which I really could have done with, I think.
But yeah, it was an excellent piece of work. I put it on Blip.
Yes, the spy story. So that was written summer last year, so actually at the end of S2.
I mean, you got some amazing comments on Blip though as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
And that was like, okay, yes, we can see that you're pretty talented at this.
And also,
writing.
In the past year, I've improved enough that I could actually rewrite it and have the quality improve drastically now.
Oh.
I could.
And so now What do you want to be now when you? think
I
you kind of-
want
it's
to
obviously
be,
linked.
at least in part, an author. I did want to be a screenwriter for quite a while, but I haven't actually done much screenwriting, and now that I really think about it, all I'm imagining myself doing is writing books. And I might do screenwriting at some point, but I don't know, that's a vague point in the future. But I would also like to do acting as well, for stage specifically, in some way. I mean, that was mainly inspired by when we were in London going to see A Midsummer Night's Dream. And I thought, oh my god, I really want to do this.
So amateur dramatics
Yeah, amateur dramatics.
with writing your main source of income. And okay, so what other interests do you currently have? What are your kind of what books have you read?
Okay, so books has been quite a big part of the past couple months. Month, really, because I didn't...
Okay, sorry, hold it there for a sec. Oh no, the battery's running down, so I'm going to change the
okay.
battery. Start again. So what books have you read?
Okay, so books have been quite a prevalent thing for the past month, because I didn't really read much at all before this summer. I had read Good Omens over the course of S2 during library period, so it took a very long time to finish it. And I remember, I think it was around in that year, 2021, 22, that I picked up Howl's Moving Castle, but I only actually finished that this Easter holidays. But very recently, it was when we went to, I don't know if we mentioned, we had a trip to Ilkley.
Oh yeah.
We had a trip to Ilkley where we stayed in like a ground floor
That's when we were looking at houses.
flat. Yeah, we were looking at houses. And by complete chance, complete coincidence, I picked up a book that I had on my shelf, specifically because it was by Neil Gaiman, The Ocean at the End of the Lane. And it was a book that was on my shelf because we had it and Mum gave it to me to read. I don't even know how long ago, and I just never did, but I decided, why don't I pick it up? So I picked it up and I started reading, and I got completely hooked. And I finished it in 3 days, which is the fastest that I've ever finished any book, ever.
No, and then
And then from there, in June or July, I don't remember, I bought at Waterstones Stardust, which is another book by Neil Gaiman, which I have watched the movie of, but hadn't watched in a very long time. And I started it then, and I finished Stardust when we were on our second summer holiday. It was specifically in what was the place with the Black Swan Hotel? Helmsley, yeah. Finished it in a cafe in Helmsley.
We had breakfast, yeah.
Yeah, I had pancakes for breakfast. It was very good. There's more books. Yeah, before I finished that though, for my birthday, I asked basically only for books. I got 3 other books by Neil Gaiman that I didn't have. So Neverwhere, American Gods, and I don't know how to pronounce the Anansi? That is the way to pronounce it. Anansi Boys. So those are the 3 books I got from Neil Gaiman's books, and I haven't started any of them yet because I'm in the middle of reading one of the other 3, which are books based on the podcast Welcome to Night Vale, which I also got into this year. There's 3 of them. I'm in the middle of reading the first one currently. So I think that's a pretty good segue to talk about. So I recently have gotten very much into horror fiction podcasts.
Right.
Specifically 2 of them. The first one It's quite surprising, actually. Welcome to Night Vale, which I got into in February, vaguely. As that's when I discovered it. It was... Yeah, I discovered it through YouTube. It was a YouTuber called Coley Does Things, and she like makes videos about different fandoms and stuff, and I discovered it through her, and I listened to it, and I really liked it, and I listened to it in school, like when we were allowed to wear our headphones during art, when we were like making bodices for art and design. Miss Galloway let me listen to music, and I listened to Welcome to Night Vale. And I also sometimes listen to it to help me get to sleep, which sounds quite strange for a horror fiction podcast, but it was strangely relaxing. I mean, I've actually shown you
Yeah, it sounds...
an episode. Can you see how that could help you sleep?
Yeah.
It could, yeah. It's like listening to an
Well,
audiobook.
it can't have been that disturbing then if it's...
No, it's not that. It's not really horror. It has horror elements,
It's more-
but it's more comedy, really.
Yeah. Like that, what was that animated,
Oh, okay. Or do you mean a film?
with the
Okay, right.
TV series, but
Okay.
that you watched with Connor. It was kind of quite weird.
God, that's gonna.
With
No, come on, we have to figure this out.
Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does it feel like about Gravity Falls?
It does a bit, actually.
Yeah.
Right, so I didn't listen to it for a very long time, but I started listening to it again after I got into second horror fiction podcast, which is called The Magnus Archives, which I know specifically the day that I got into it. I could check, but I'm not going to right now. It was just before we went to London, so it was over the week of London that I really got into it and fell deeper into the rabbit hole and like got totally obsessed with it, really. And I still haven't finished it, which is justified considering it has 200 episodes and each episode is 20 minutes long. But yeah, currently I've been interested in it for 7 weeks. It's felt like a lot longer than that. But it's also very, very good, and also definitely horror, not comedy with horror elements.
And I've got this note here in my notes. It says Half-Life.
Half-Life. Yeah, there was another interest that I got into in February, and it didn't really, like, it kind of died out when I got into the Magnus Archives, but for like a good few months I was totally into a YouTube series called Half-Life VR, but the AI is self-aware, which is a comedy series on YouTube that is totally improvised in the game of Half-Life. Like, it's Gmod, really. And yeah, it's funny. I told you about it.
I watched some of that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so there was that as well.
Okay, what TV series have you watched this year that you're kind of like the ones that you can most memorable TV series?
Oh, there's one very specifically that stands out, isn't there? I'm sure you know what that is. Good Omens.
Yeah.
Yes, Good Omens 2. Good Omens 2 came out the beginning of last month, or was it this month? I think it might have been this month, I don't know, but we watched it, well, tried to watch it one episode per week, but failed. I ended up watching like 2 episodes in one night, and then like one night and then a different one that was the next, and then like I ended up finishing it in a lot less than 6 weeks. But I wasn't, right, just on the off chance, spoilers by the way, but I wasn't expecting it to end on a cliffhanger, and it completely caught me off guard and completely took a knife and stabbed me in the heart. I have a video of my live, well, not live reaction, but a couple minutes afterwards reaction where I was completely lost for words and was going. So yeah, looking forward to season 3.
And of course you're still into Doctor Who, of course.
Yes, obviously still into Doctor Who.
Where are you at with that? Have you
Yeah, okay, so
got
right
through them
now,
all yet?
no, we haven't gotten through them all, but we're actually relatively close, which is very, very strange considering we've been watching Doctor Who every week since 2020, which, for my limited memory, is literally forever. Feels like we have been watching Doctor Who
So what's
forever. We're on Peter Capaldi right now, nearing the end of Clara's run. Mum, do you know what series that is? It's before. I think it's series 9. I think it's 9.
Did you start watching? When did you actually start? Was it?
We started watching Matt Smith at the beginning of 2020, and then.
No, but I mean, when you actually started watching it live, as in, you know.
Oh, for Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah.
I don't remember. No, I think we started.
But Jodie Whittaker was your first Doctor that you actually watched as it was on.
As it was on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I do remember watching.
Right. So you're your last Doctor then, before you've done them all.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, until the new series comes out with Ncuti Gatwa, which I am so excited for, but sadly we have not had any Doctor Who this year so far.
And David Tennant's coming back for a bit.
David Tennant's coming back for a bit. Oh my god. Also, I swear David Tennant is literally everywhere. Everywhere I look, I see his face. First Good Omens and now Doctor Who. It's just... where is he not?
I thought there was a TV series that we all really got into. Traitors.
Oh
The Traitors.
yes, The Traitors. So at the beginning of this year, January, definitely. I think it actually started before
Yeah,
Christmas.
we watched the final in January.
Yeah, it started before Christmas. The Traitors started with the first series this year, and it was incredibly stressful, but also incredibly addictive. Like, seriously, watching it was so emotionally exhausting. Just like...
So, yeah. You're going to start studying psychology, aren't you?
Yes.
With GCSE, so
I'm doing
another series this year.
Yeah, I'm doing 6
Interesting.
GCSEs right now, and I'm going to add a 7th soon, which is psychology, which I'm very much looking forward to.
Okay, I'm going to pause there. Right. Put potatoes in. Right. We don't have a special guest with us for this final part of the...
No. Actually,
Yeah, so-
before you ask a question, I remembered something. About the books, while we were in... what was it with the hotel?
Helmsley.
Helmsley. While we were in Helmsley, we went to this really cool bookshop, and I got 2 books. I got I got 2 Sherlock Holmes books, 2 that I didn't already have. So there was one that was both A Study in Scarlet and The Sign of the Four, and the other one which was the one with his last bow, like the casebook of Sherlock Holmes, I think. Yeah, I haven't read either of them yet, but I will soon. And then we... Okay, you did actually scare me. Right. And then when we went to Whitby, we went into the bookshop and I got another book, which is a more modern one, called The Stranger Times, which I've started but haven't continued, which I basically had to get because it's like the premise is like a combination of the premise of both the Magnus Archives and Welcome to Night Vale, and also it takes place in Manchester, I think. Yeah. So I had to. No.
So we've done TV series and books.
Mhm.
What movies have we seen?
Movies. Okay,
Have
you might have to help me with this because we have seen quite a lot of movies. I remember.
Quick reaction then to each one. I've got a
Okay.
list here.
Okay.
The Breakfast Club,
The Breakfast Club.
which one obviously we saw that at home.
Yeah, we first saw that at home. Do you remember when? I don't.
It was this year.
No, it wasn't this year. It was last year. Must have been. Could not have been this year, I swear.
Well, what was your?
Well, I had a whole reaction video of me like talking about it as soon as I'd seen it. But
You
yes,
loved it?
I loved it. It was
Yeah.
very good. Also, I know it couldn't have been this year. I mean, it could have, but it had to have been January because I was thinking about how it could apply to school, which I was going to at the time. But yeah, I found it really cool, like having a film that the entire thing is just dedicated to exploring characters and making a very entertaining film that only takes place in one setting.
And we saw The Lost King.
Yes, we
And
saw The
in
Lost King
October.
as has been mentioned during the
Middlesbrough.
October holidays, Halloween holidays. Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it, and we saw it in a cinema that was like really old and like it was probably built in the 80s.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And we saw Dungeons and Dragons at Honor Amongst Thieves.
Yes, we saw that. That was very good. I enjoyed that as well.
And I think one of your favourites was Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh yes. Although, oh yeah, something that might not be on that list, but I forgot to mention, but saw that before Across the Spider-Verse, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which no one was expecting to be good, but was utterly amazing.
Yeah.
Seriously, like one of my favourite movies. The animation was fantastic, and the story was fantastic, and the characters and everything was fantastic. Did I mention the animation? I think I did, yeah.
And we saw the new Indiana Jones movie.
Yes, that was after Across the Spider-Verse. So Across the
Baby
Spider-Verse.
still going.
Right.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah. Can I talk about Across the Spider-Verse?
Talk about yeah.
Yes. Also an utterly amazing film. Seriously, I have no idea how it managed to outdo the first one, even though the first one was already perfect. I mean, in that regard, it's actually kind of like Tears of the Kingdom, but we'll get to that later. Hello. Anyway, yeah, like, the animation was amazing, the characters, the story, everything was fantastic, and I watched it as soon as it came out on streaming as well, so I've seen it twice. Seriously, I cannot express how much praise I have for it.
Father could go, well, I was just going to Wizarding School, yeah. You can tell I've gone to Wizarding School because one and an owl. Yeah. Oh, it looks like you have as well.
Oh dear.
And most recently we have seen Barbenheimer. What is Barbenheimer?
Barbenheimer. Also, we went to see Elemental as
Elemental,
well. Just
yeah.
saying that. Right, Barbenheimer. So, the event, the film event of 2023. Cultural event.
Of many years as well, of course, since
Yes.
since lockdown kind of destroyed the cinemas.
Yeah, it is one of the biggest cinematic events in years. So, Barbie and Oppenheimer, both films supported by companies, but like, well, what are they called? What are they called again? I know this. Oh well, but made by independent directors, and are both incredibly good, but are completely contrasting in tone.
Non-sequels.
Non-sequels for once. And completely contrasting in tone. We went to see Oppenheimer first on the opening weekend, and I had a small existential crisis about it, mainly because I'd actually not even seen it itself, but seen a video essay about When the Wind Blows, which instilled in me the fear of death. And then I went to see Oppenheimer, so that was an experience. Cried at it. I cried. And then we held off on seeing Barbie. Well, Mum didn't. She went to go see it with Auntie Katie, which I didn't get to do. But Instead, I went to see it 2 weeks later on my birthday with my friends.
And then saw it 2 days later.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that. I saw it with Hannah, Megan, and Emma. And then 2 days later, when we were on our... We saw it again in the cinema, which I wasn't expecting.
And I got to see it for the first time.
Yeah, you got to see it. You and Connor got to see it for the first time. Well, when we were on holiday. So, yeah, that was fun. I utterly adored Barbie, by the way. Yeah, we did not take Connor to see Oppenheimer. He is, for the record, 10. So, he wasn't even old enough to see it. Anyway, it's 15. I mean, technically at that point I wasn't 15 either, but...
So you mentioned Tears of the Kingdom, so...
Tears of the Kingdom, yes, so...
That is what?
Yes, it must have been, like, spring, I don't remember when it was, but... Well, when it was exactly, but Tears of the...
Game.
Yeah. The game, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, sequel to Breath of the Wild, was a game that came out and is almost certainly winning Game of the Year. If it hasn't already, I don't know. But played it, have not finished it, played it, it is absolutely fantastic. Just like Across the Spider-Verse, the original was perfect, but it somehow outdid the original anyway. And it's absolutely amazing, it's fun, and now Connor's playing it as well. And he has, in about like a tenth of the time I played it, got like 5 times as far as I have.
He does play a lot though.
Yeah, he does play it like... He hasn't played a tenth of the amount that I have. He's probably played about 10 times the amount I have, just in the time it took him to play that amount. Is there anything else?
I think that's it.
Is that it, really?
I think we've covered everything else in the first half.
Well, it has certainly been an eventful 8 months. And I think
What are you hoping for the year ahead then?
hoping for the year ahead. Well,
Looking ahead.
Yes, I'm quite excited because next week it's when musical theatre starts back up again, and we're starting with this year's panto immediately, because last year, as amazing as last year's was, it was a bit squashed for time, so we're starting immediately. Do not know what panto we're doing yet because it has been kept a secret from us, but we'll know soon enough.
And you're doing a filmmaking course
Yes.
at RCS.
Doing a filmmaking course at RCS. Looking forward to that, don't really know what to expect.
And you have your GCSEs in May.
So the next time we do a summer interview, I will have done my GCSEs.
Yeah, first proper exams.
Oh.
So
Yes, I am looking forward to writing more, to improving more in my writing, because I think I am quite exponentially improving right now, which is very good. There's definitely a learning curve, which I'm steadily climbing, which is good. I want to actually be able to finish all the books that I've gotten, because I have like 9 on my reading list, and I also want to get Coraline so I can read it around Halloween, which means I'll have to have like 10 books on my reading list, so I have so much to read, but I have time to read, so that's good.
excellent.
Yeah.
Well, good luck for the year ahead.
Yes, I think I'll be needing it.